All right, so good evening, everybody. It's so great to see you all here, and it's a Sunday night, and I really acknowledge you for being here. I mean, Sunday nights is often a night where we want to just have some downtime and invest that time with family. So, I really appreciate you being on, and and sharing, what really makes a difference for me when I get asked, what do I do? So, how often when we meet people do we get asked, what do you do? Right? And sometimes they don't ask you, but you can actually ask them, oh, what do you do? And then they'll answer, and then you get an opportunity for them to say, what do you do? And it can be one of the most difficult questions we ever get asked, because often we're not geared to answer that really powerfully. So we're just going to go through the structure of how you can work with this question and create curiosity from the people or the person that you're talking to. Now, just got to get this to click over. Hang on. Be good if I can get this to work. Just one sec. Why can't I move this? Go like this. Go like that. Okay. All right. So how many of you out there are looking for new opportunities? Right? Good on you. Thank you. Absolutely. So, how are you going to create awareness of your unique products and company? Well, you're going to talk to people, and then you're going to talk to more people, and then you'll talk to more people again. All right? It never goes away, this opportunity of talking to people. So where do we meet people? We meet them socially, traveling, networking events. Some of you actually go to networking events. Introductions, we get introduced to people, functions. If you've got kids at school, you get to meet parents there. It could be sports you're attending, and all of you have practitioners. You might have lots of practitioners, or you might just have 2 or 3. So good examples are hairdressers, someone you go to for health, and beauty. So these are all perfect opportunities not to sell your unique product or business, but to create curiosity. So people want to know more about you and your product. So here we have the infamous elevator pitch, and it was created just for these occasions. So we're going to look at the components of constructing an elevator pitch. So what is an elevator pitch? It's a brief conversation to spark interest in what you do. It doesn't just work in your business. It could be a project that you're contributing to, or an organisation you are passionate about, or it could be something on a personal level. So an elevator pitch is your answer to that classic icebreaker, what do you do? It's an opportunity to deliver a unique customer advantage message, which is basically a solution for them or somebody they know. It's an opportunity to tell your story in brief, and it's actually leads into a deeper dialogue about what your product or company can do for them. So in other words, what kind of solution can you provide for the person you're talking to? Now, a good elevator pitch should last no longer than a short elevator ride, which is where it got its name from, and that's around 20 to 30 seconds. And in practice, you typically have 60 seconds to inspire a person to find out more about you and what you do. So it's got to be interesting, measurable, and memorable and succinct. So creating an elevator pitch, the key is to create a need in your prospective customer so that they want what you have. What are you going to offer them? So what do we offer people that we're talking to? We provide solutions and we provide hope. We don't sell, who thinks we sell redox signaling molecules or Renew 28 or something like that? No, we don't. We actually sell solutions and we sell hope. So let's break it down, as there's some steps involved. And the first thing you got to do is identify your goal. So do you have a product or a business goal, or is it a combination of product and a business focus? And the question is asked, what do you do? All right, so the first thing you want to do is create what we call a foundation of yes. And how do we do that? Well, we ask them an engaging question, which establishes a foundation of common belief or interest. And then that foundation of common belief or interest is something you know that they will already believe to be true. And straight away, you're sitting on what's called that foundation of yes. So we're going to go through some examples of this in a minute. And then lastly, you finish with your solution to the initial common belief or interest that you have with people. So here's an example. Now, anyone can use the method that we just talked about, no matter what they do in their life. So here's an example of a stay-at-home mum. And she gets asked, what do you do? And this is her, so when a mother at home doing house duties was asked by a stranger, what do you do? She replied, so this is where she's establishing a foundation of yes. Well, you know how behind every successful man there is a good woman who keeps everything running smoothly? And they go, yeah. And she says, well, that's what I do. I'm that person I'm that good woman who keeps everything running smoothly. So you're simply stating the benefits or solution that you provide. And she created that foundation of yes. So we'll just move on to another example. So creating a need for the listener is really important, because people are listening. When you're speaking, they're listening for, can this person provide a solution for me? Now, they're not doing that consciously, but that's actually what gets their interest, is when you have a solution for something, for somewhere where they're hurting or where they're suffering. So you've really got to speak to people's needs. So when a CPA was asked by a stranger, well, what do you do? She replied, can you imagine what it's like to receive a registered letter from the ATO? And they go, yeah. And, the person looks really alarmed. Well, I help people take care of problems like that. Right? So then what usually happens is people say, well, okay, well, how do you do that? Right? So you're actually engaging their interest. Now, it takes time and a bit of practice, and you might go through several versions before you find the one that works for you. And it's just, we'll sort of now work through and break down ways you can do that. Now, what do you currently say when people ask you, what do you do? Does anyone want to volunteer? Anyone got something there? You can take yourself off mute, or I can take you off.
Yep, I can volunteer.
Who's that? Jen, yeah.
Yes, hi. Yeah, so I definitely use one of those. The first one, I say I'm an independent associate with ASEA.
Yep.
I don't say I sell. I often will say I'm working with a company called ASEA who has a cellular health breakthrough.
Yep.
And it's all about helping us get back to how we were when we were younger.
Yep. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to share what you say currently when people say, what do you do? Margot, do you want to share?
Yes, and most of the people that I've been talking to already know what my profession has been for decades. But because it arches over what I'm now doing, I can easily say I help people improve their health and well-being.
Right. Okay, good. Fantastic. All right. So we'll move on. So, yeah, there's a couple of examples of what you could say when people say, what do you do? I'm an independent associate with ASEA. I teach people about redox signaling molecules. Some people say, oh, I don't know what to say. I run a home-based business. I sell a cellular health product. And you know what? All of that's correct, and the truth is probably no one cares. So saying why we do what we do opens up people's desires to find out more, creates curiosity, and also initiates a conversation or a request for more information. So let's look at some ways to do that. So the first thing you want to look at is, what is the ASEA selling proposition? In other words, what are the benefits? Because remember, people are going to be listening to, is there a solution in this for me, and what's coming out of their mouth? Does that sound like something I want or something I need? Let's mute Margot there. So let's have a look here. These are some solutions for a product focus. Now, there are only some of them because you could write a list much longer. You know, what do our products offer? Now, here they are: anti-aging, increased health, athletic performance. They're preventative in terms of your well-being. They provide rejuvenation. They assist people to feel younger and look younger, more youthful skin, increased energy, unique products. They are unique products. It's unique technology. It's an opportunity to meet people, and we have excellent tools and support to leverage our time and skills. And, you know, it could provide travel for us. So that's more of a product focus, and some of that would also cross over to a business focus. So now let's have a look at the business focus. Financial freedom, personal development, making a difference, creating possibility in people's lives, making a contribution to the lives of others. You know, being involved with a company that operates on principles and purpose, creating residual income, building an asset or legacy, having a global business, providing mentorship or being mentored, achieving our dreams, travel, all right? And again, the list could go on. These are just a few of them. So do you all agree that you know, these are things that are solutions either from the business point of view or from a product point of view? Yep. Now, what have you complained about or heard others complain about? You know, some of these might be familiar. You've either heard them or said them yourself. Oh my God, I feel trapped in the rat race. I don't have enough money. You know, there's huge overheads in my business. I feel like I'm working for nothing. I work long hours for a boss building their dream. I'm so bored with my job. Oh, there's no time flexibility. You know, I can't get to do those things with my children or go to their sports day or, you know, or other. I'm so tired. I lack energy. I don't have any satisfaction in what I do. There's no opportunities for travel, and there's probably lots more. Has anyone got some that they've heard or even heard themselves say or heard others say? So let's hear from you. Have I covered them all? I doubt it. What have you complained about with your job? Too many hours on your feet. I'm thinking of Margot. Long hours on her feet.
All of the above there, Janene. I think you've nailed them.
I just pulled these ones out of my head about half an hour ago. I thought there's probably more, but they're the ones that immediately came to mind for me. Has anyone got one they want to add to that?
Can't get away from it.
What was that, Lincoln?
Can't get away from it.
Yeah, like...
You know, like can't take time off.
Can't take time off. So, yeah, lack of time, flexibility. I can't leave the farm. Yeah? Yep. Anyone got any others?
Work-life balance to do.
What was that, Lena?
Too much to do.
Oh, there's not enough time and there's too much to do. Isn't that a classic? Absolutely. Yep. Not enough time. Absolutely. Yeah, lack of time, flexibility, or just not enough time. Not enough time. Good one, Lena. Thank you.
You can actually cross board off the list there, Janene. I don't think that relates to many of us.
No, but this is, we're not talking about in ASEA. We're talking about, yeah.
I know.
Some
but
people
most people who have lack of time and lack of energy. It's not to do with boredom. In fact, I'd like to be bored for half a day.
Absolutely. No, but some people actually say,
jobs,
yeah, some people say, oh, I'm so bored. You know, they're not fulfilled in what they're doing. Yep. All right.
They're also health challenged.
It could be that I don't have the health to be able to return to work. That's right. There's in fact, I thought there's more you could put up here around to do with health. I just put up tired, lacking energy. But yeah, some people are too sick to go back to work, right?
And it may also be environmental factors in that they're away from their family. There's long distance involved and they actually don't have the finance to see family.
Yeah, well, that's where, they're trapped in a rat race. They don't have enough money. It fits into there, or not enough time with family. That's a good one, Janice. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
And when I was the manager of a department, I used to complain that I was spending all my time managing the seniors above me, massaging their egos and trying to manage my team to keep them motivated, because really a lot of them didn't want to be there either.
Yeah, so then, that you're working in a culture that's not inspiring. Yeah. So a poor team culture. Yeah, there's no joy and fun in that, is there? Thanks, Liz. Absolutely. All right.
What about the people who only want to work part-time but they can't get it quite enough hours? So that's the other side of having too much time at work. They need a bit more, but so they need some extra income, but they can't work full-time, so they need something that fits in with all the other bits and pieces that they have to do. Yeah, so would you put that into time flexibility, lack of time, or, needing to find a job that can work around their family commitments, things like that? Yeah? Yeah, that's a good one too. Absolutely. All right, let's move more into the solutions. All right, now the thing that you need to look at is, solutions provide the platform of why you do what you do with ASEA. And this is the place to start, and this is where it actually engages people. So why do you do what you do with ASEA? And you could write a very long list. Between us all, the list could be very long. But here's a place to start. So why is it important to you to be out there sharing a message about redox, about ASEA, about all those things? And here's some of them. Because, it's important to you to provide solutions for restoring health, anti-aging, feeling and looking younger. And, that might have been something you got out of it and you want to make that available to others. It could be passionate about educating people on how they can experience more energy and feel and look younger. So you got to sort of start to pull out. If we went back to those other slides, you pull out, well, no, that's important to me and that's important to me. And you actually put it together in a sentence here, a statement. You might be passionate about empowering and helping others experience financial freedom and achieve their dreams. So that one, we've got a cross between a product and a business aspect. It could be creating a global residual income and mentoring others to do the same. So you could go a bit stronger on the business side. It's really up to you what kind of message you want to get out there. It could be important to you that you connect people with the best healing technology on the planet so people can maintain health or restore well-being. So you can imagine the list could go on. It's about you looking at what are you passionate about in your business in terms of sharing the ASEA benefits. And then once you've worked that out, you then look at what are you passionate about, and then what would be missing for people. Why would people be interested in what you are passionate about? So this is creating now the foundation of yes. So your question is, when people say, so what do you do, Cheryl? And you go, we know how more people are looking for safe, natural solutions for well-being. And I go, yes. And she says, well, that's what I do. I'm passionate about helping people with solutions for restoring their health,
anti-aging, and feeling and looking younger. Next one could be, well, what do you do, Anna? Well, you know how more people are looking for healthy solutions to increase their energy and feel and look younger? Yes. Well, that's what I do. I educate people on how they can experience more energy, feel and look younger, while helping others to do the same. Could be Marietta. What do you do, Marietta? And she says, well, you know how many people are dissatisfied with their job and career? And I go, oh, yeah. Well, my commitment is to empower people to create financial freedom and achieve their dreams. That's what I do. Here's another one. So, Carolyn, what do you do? And she says, well, you know how many people are bored, they feel trapped in the rat race and can't leverage their time? Yeah. Well, I teach people how to transform a job into a business, working from home and creating financial freedom. Or it could be, well, I teach people how to create a global residual income and mentor others to do the same. Right? So again, you've got to look at what's the key things that you're passionate about in your ASEA business. So this one here is connecting people with the best healing technology on the planet, so people can maintain health or restore their well-being. So again, that could be an answer to, if we went back to the one before. You know how people are looking for how more people are looking for safe, natural solutions for well-being? Yes. Well, that's what I do. I connect people with the best healing technology on the planet, so people can maintain their health or they can restore their well-being. So remember, this is all just a start to a conversation. It's not about, oh my God, they totally get what you do. They won't totally get what you do. It's about engaging with them so they're curious. So the next thing is how do you do that? How do you do what you do? And often you've got to add context there. So then someone goes, oh, so that's really interesting. How do you do that? Well, you know, I host live events for my mentor. I run live events. I do one-on-one coaching. And, you know, so for example, I would say, for example, you know, so if I was talking to someone that looked like they work out at the gym, you know, I would then give them a context of how what I do could assist that person to, you know, improve their level of fitness, minimize any injury. If it's somebody that I think is a serious athlete, I would say, you know, could extend their athletic career. And I would just give that as an example. Or if it's a person who looks like, you know, they're I don't know, I might ask a question, you know, are you working full-time currently? And they'd say, well, yep. And I say, well, what I do is assist people so that they have more energy. So at the end of the day, they actually, you know, have more, you know, feel more energized when they get home from work. And I do that through doing one-on-one coaching. I do it through running events where people can come to those events and find out about how they can do that. And I also host events, and they go, oh, okay, well, that sounds really interesting. But, you know, I'd still, you know, I'd still not really getting the whole thing. And it's like, well, have you heard of redox signaling molecules? And they'll go, no. And I go, no, most people haven't. You know, it's a new science, it's a new technology, and it allows us to wind back the clock with our age and our cells to function like they did when you were younger. You know, do you remember what it was like 10 years ago? Do you remember having more energy? Do you remember recovering from things quicker, or being able to do things that, you know, that you love to do, but these days, you know, you don't have the energy to do it. Now, you've got to create the context depending on their age. All right. So it's something to really practice. So, you know, it's all about, you know, it's just speaking your truth, number one, what's true for you. But again, you know, move it a bit in context if you think that's what you need to do for the person that you're listening to. So to start to a conversation, the next is they'll ask, well, how do you do that? All right. And it's just to really get communication going. And along the way, you might need to ask some questions. because you don't want to do all the talking. You know, you want them to get involved, communication is them asking questions, you answering, then you asking them questions. So you want to start engaging with them by asking more questions than doing more talking. Now, the big key when you're setting out these questions, it's really about why we do something. Because for those of you who went to Simon Chan, it's, you know, you probably remember that people are signing up to your commitment and passion. So it's fine to use those words, you know, what you're committed to, what you're passionate about. And as long as you're sharing with them about something that you authentically are committed to and passionate about, they actually hear that passion. And, you know, people will join because of you and not necessarily the product. So it's you first, maybe the product next, right? And people just want to be around people who are up to something, who are going somewhere, who are committed to a greater good for, you know, their community and people in the wider community. So it does mean getting out on the skinny branches a bit, right? It's something you need to create and then practice it. And you could practice it with your friends. So have your friends ask you, so what do you do? Right? And then you can say, well, you know how more and more people these days are looking for natural solutions so they have more energy at the end of the day. Yep, well, that's what I do. I help people discover how they can do that, you know, with a technology that's native to the body. Now, remembering all of that won't mean much to them. It's just to engage them. And if you find they're not engaging, you can say, have you heard of redox signaling molecules? Right? So if the conversation's not going forward, you just say that. And they go, no. And you go, no, most people haven't. Like, let them know that they're not weird or they're not dumb or, you know, they've been hiding under a leaf for too long. Just let them know, yeah, most people haven't heard of it. Yeah, it's a really exciting technology and it allows people to, you know, have this or have that or, you know, work out harder, you know, have the life that they used to have. So let's just open it up now to some questions. So I'll stop sharing. And
Janene, I was at a networking event the other day and I was trying to practice my little elevator pitch that I practiced on the way in the car.
Yeah.
And business coaches that were there, they go, oh, you need to refine your market.
Well, it depends. I mean, what did they mean by that?
That, you know, who's your target market? And I said, well, anyone with a health challenge, anyone who wants anti-aging and athletes. And she said, oh, you need to refine your market. You need to find your niche and close your market, you know, make your market smaller.
Well, exactly. Like if you said, well, my market is in athletes, well, your elevated pitch would definitely be speaking to athletes. But sometimes you don't have a defined market. Like Jules, I remember, was sharing at a networking event with a gentleman, and he went home and told his wife, and then he came back to Jules and said, my wife would be really interested in that. So, you know, it's kind of when you start engaging with them, it's about speaking to either a challenge, somewhere they're hurting, or somebody they know is where they're hurting. So they might have good health, but their mother might not, or their partner or a relation. So often it's about getting them thinking about who in their life could benefit with the solutions that you provide.
Okay.
So it's really about, I mean, I don't know what your elevator pitch was, but if you want to share that with me, because it's about opening up the conversation, and you won't know your target. You could have a target market, but you've already identified that. It's people that are interested in well-being, preventative health and athletic performance. anti-aging. That's your target market, right? So, but if I was heading off to an event where I know they're mostly athletes, like I did an event with a girl in Lincoln's business, and it was all athletic performance, you know, people who were not elite athletes, but people who are out there wanting to ride bikes and quite serious bike riders. So I would tailor my conversation to their needs. Yeah. But sometimes when you're out socially, you don't know that person. It's an icebreaker. You have no clue what their interest is. So you say the elevator speech is about just creating curiosity, and then you need to ask questions of that person. You know, so are these, you know, are you interested in health and well-being? What, you know, tell me a bit about that. You know, are you interested? Do you like working out? You know, do you have people in your life that their health is fading? So you got to just ask all questions, and then once they engage, then you start speaking to that need that they have. Yeah. Okay. It's really, you just get sometimes one opportunity to create enough interest in them, in you. First of all, you know, they go, oh, that's really interesting. Well, how do you do that, Joe? You know, so they'll just keep a conversation going. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure. You'd probably be interesting to ask them to help you with a solution to what they're advising you. But, you know, it'd be interesting to work with you on your elevator pitch. Because at the end,
can I just...
Yeah, who's that?
It's Jane.
Jane.
Joe, can I just ask, how long were you given? Was this when you were doing what you were doing? Was it in front of a group of people, and how long were you given?
No, it was just a very small network of seven of us, and we were just sitting around the table basically introducing ourselves. It wasn't you know, I didn't have an allocated time or anything like that. And just the business coaches that were running it, they had sort of said, oh, well, your market's too broad. You need to find a niche in the market and target those people.
See, I think you develop a different conversation for when you are actually going to a networking event where people know you were there to actually promote what you do. That's a different conversation. I wouldn't use the elevator then, because they already are going to ask you questions about it, because that's what they're there to do. This is like you're meeting a total stranger. You're not at a networking event. It's like, oh, social. So, oh, hi, Joe. This is Joe. Hi, Joe. And you're chatting away, and then they say, so what do you do, Joe? And it's about continuing a conversation with them about what you do. That's when I would use it. Now, at a networking event, what they train you to do is in 60 seconds to be able to relay to the person you're talking to in a way that they get what you do. So if you start, you know, going off about mitochondria or blah, 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 it's like, oh, my God, I have no clue what you do, Joe. So that's different training.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's good to bring that up, though.
Thanks.
Good. Someone's got a chat here for me.
Janene?
Having an avatar helps. Well, we could, yeah. Yes.
Janene, could you get Cheryl to explain what she means by an avatar, please?
Yeah, so I'll ask Cheryl to explain that, but it's like having the ideal person that you want to engage with and bring into your business. But Cheryl, if you could say more about that, that'd be awesome.
It's narrowing down exactly the kind of person you want to talk with. You even give, so it's kind of like a fictitious person. You give them a name, you pinpoint their age within a certain time, their interests, what they like and don't like, if they're male or female, and it's called an avatar, but it's really basically a person that you would see yourself marketing to. Your critical market, in other words. So if, as you heard, if you're at the Simon Chan, people got up and he said to them, what's your avatar? And they could actually explain the kind of person they want to sell their product to or attract to their business. And the finer you get with the detail on the avatar, the more successful you are at talking to those people. And it changes how you use language and everything if you have a specific type of person you're talking to.
So, Cheryl, do you think that's more on a business approach, though, rather than a /product business approach?
I don't know that is true. We still should have an avatar because it gives us some skills in. It's funny, it gives you some skills in attracting that person, I think. So you will automatically start attracting that kind of person to you. So you know how you're going to speak to them. And I think that could be not necessarily just on your Facebook page or a business page. It could be in an elevator. It really could.
I mean, I think what happens when you're out and someone says, what do you do? It's, like, I think just sharing authentically from the heart what you do, often that person will lead you to your avatar. You know, it's kind of like it is really important to be clear about, you know, the sort of person that you want to attract into your business. It's going to be people that are passionate about helping other people, number one, or, you know, that they're connected in this way. So, yeah, it's really, it is a really good idea to get clear on the type of person you want to work with. And thing is, people could lead you to those. You know, often I've met a person and although often I've met a person and I thought, oh my God, they'd be hopeless at this business, and they've gone out and done amazing things. And I've met other people where I thought this person is going to build my right leg, and they've done absolutely nothing, you know. So it's really interesting. But I mean, I think that eventually we get connected to those key people that come in and share the passion and want to partner you in what you're connected to and what you're passionate about. Yeah.
Janene, if I can just say the other great phrase we heard numbers of times over the long weekend is some people are the doorway, not the destination.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you know, often people will connect you with that avatar or with that person for sure. And we never know who that's going to be. You know, it's the old story. Everybody has gold inside them, but is that gold going to be prevalent, you know, in your business? Who knows? We just don't know. So, but look, I think the more you talk to people, or I believe the more that you communicate with people and engage with people, obviously at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. And when you're meeting people for the first time, like, you know, we sort of go through our hot market, then our warm market, then our cool market, and then all of a sudden we're meeting people and we're in it's a cold market. All right, so let's just see.
Janene, could I say something?
Yeah, sure.
So for the networking breakfast I attend fortnightly, sometimes it's the same people. So, you know, the first time I shared, I actually said, I'm looking for people that could be health challenged or looking at anti-aging or know somebody that may be health challenged or looking for anti-aging, long endurance in athletes. So I kind of gave them the option that it might not be them, but it could be someone else that they know.
Exactly. And that like a formal networking group, I don't think this elevator pitch is for them. Yeah, you've got to be very specific with them, and that's a classic example.
Yeah. So the next time I went, it was the same people. So then I practiced on why I'm doing this, and just did my passion about, you know, helping other people get, you know, a lifestyle they want, and really shared with them why I was doing this business. So I'm kind of practicing on the people that have heard the first one. If there's new people, obviously I'd use it again, the same one. So
yeah, and that's what you need to do. I mean, it is just practice. Like I was ringing up booking an event for an ASEA, booking a venue for an ASEA event, and the woman said to me, oh, so what do you do?
And I just went straight into my elevator pitch, and she goes, oh, that sounds really interesting. How do you do that? You know, and I said, well, you know, we have guest speakers come in from overseas where we invite people in, and that's why I'm using the venue. But I do one-on-ones. You know, I run local events, and it's all about educating people in the possibility of what's available with this new breakthrough technology that's all to do with our cells being healthy. And I said, you know, is that something you're interested in? Are you interested in health, or would you be interested in knowing how to have more energy at the end of the day? And she said, oh my God, I sure would. And I said, do you work long hours? So then I got more interested in her. And that she's just a complete stranger to me on the telephone. So they're the kind of situations where you want to have those conversations, because you don't want to miss out on any opportunities. Yeah. So how many of you belong to a networking group? I haven't joined any since I've been in ASEA, but I used to be part of a networking group. Yeah. So, you know, they know that you're there to basically, sell yourself first and sell your product to them. You know, they know that there's no surprises there. So it's a matter of being very succinct and getting a message out that also engages them. Yeah, exactly.
Janene, could I say something else?
Yeah, you go for
it. So I was watching a Zoom today that Clay Stevens did with Bobby Martin. Cheryl and David have probably seen it. And Clay actually really did a good example of, you know, meeting someone in the supermarket and just trying to get some questions out of them before they actually say what you do. He also then said that you just leave them, you know, just basically telling them that, you know, look, I haven't got time to explain it all straight away, and, you know, if I could have 30 minutes of your time, and try and engage them that way.
Yeah,
so
again,
that was quite interesting.
That's right, and that's another situation again where, you know, you just start chatting to someone. You're waiting in a queue at the supermarket, you're waiting in a queue at the bathroom, you know, and that's a whole different conversation. So the elevator speech is really just addressing that. So what do you do, Lincoln? You know, well, what do you do, Amy? It's just really because it's like sometimes it takes you back a bit. So it's like, well, you know how more and more people, you know, are looking for natural solutions to their health and well-being and energy. They'll always go yes. They never say no. I've never had anyone say no. They go, oh, yeah. They go, yeah, that's what I do. You know, so, and they just get really fascinated in what you do. And then it just, you know, then a conversation will start for sure. But, you know, some people are masterful, like Janice, if she's still on the call. I've been places with Janice, and she'll talk to anybody, you know, start engaging with them in a conversation. She's very masterful at that. And, interesting to watch. But, yeah, she'll find a common area of interest around, she'll notice something, you know, I notice you're limping a bit, or I notice this, or I notice that, and you know, she'll engage with people very quickly, but Janice is a bit of a one-off. I think the more we learn just to talk to strangers, and you know, being really comfortable about doing that. But I think one of the areas is really getting present to what you love about ASEA, you know, and then you can start to share from your heart and be really passionate about it. So has anyone got any other examples or situations where they can add to this, where they've either, you know, nailed it when talking to strangers, or something along these lines? It doesn't have to necessarily be to the question, what do you do?
Yes, I have a query.
Yes.
How are you? So we're talking about meeting people out in public, but what about refining it down to prospecting them online, in your experience, Janene?
See, I don't do any prospecting online, Amy, so I don't have any. Yeah, I'm not proficient at that. I've talked at length about it, I've got 3 daughters who run a business, and they do a lot of work with social media, but they've said it's a lot of work. Like, you've really got to be prepared to dedicate quite a bit of time every day to it. You can't do this, this hit and miss approach. And I'm clear I'm not willing to dedicate that amount of time to it at this point in my life. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I don't have any expertise in that area, and anytime I bring it up, I'm steered away from it. And, and I think, for some people, they will engage with that possibility. And it could be something I'll do down the track. And apparently, I'm a baby boomer in age, and apparently baby boomers actually do like engaging on Facebook, which that actually surprised me. I think, and young mums who are at home and, are not getting out with people, they'll engage on Facebook. But I was surprised that my age group are engaging more and more on Facebook. But, like, it's something definitely Cheryl's interested in moving forward in, and people who have been working with Simon Chan in the mastermind group, they will start to do that. So I'm not going to be the person that can contribute there.
That's okay. No problem. Thank you.
Thanks for asking. Yeah.
No problem.
Jen.
Janene, with the elevator pitch, you mentioned that you speak something about the redox signaling technology. Do you always mention that in the conversation?
No, only if they are sort of a bit, that they don't engage back. Then I'll say, oh, look, have you heard of redox signaling molecules? I'll only mention that, up front if it's like they aren't coming back with a question.
Okay.
So, when I say, so that's what I do. And then if they look at me, most people go, oh, that's interesting. What do you mean? How do you do that? Like, exactly what do you do? And then I'll go into, the type of activities that I do that actually support people in those areas. And then, and then the conversation will go on. I'll start asking them questions to do with...
And because that person is somebody that you might not have met before, what's your best way of getting their contact details?
Well, I just say to them, look, I can send you some, some really succinct, quick videos so you get an overview of it. And they'll go, yeah, that sounds good. So I then give them my phone and I just put notes up and I just say, put your details into there. Because often they'll say, oh, give me a business card. And I purposely don't have any business cards on me. I go, I don't use business cards. Just put your details into here. Because I've got, I swear to God, Jen, I would have 3 shoe boxes of business cards that I've collected over the years, and I do nothing with them. I hate them. I come home and I've got 5, 10 business cards from an event, and I just don't, I'm not great at getting in. I've never been masterful at getting into action around business cards. So I collect them and think one day I'll do something with them. I've got all these sophisticated storage things for them. I do nothing with them. So I've decided it's a waste of paper and money, and I just say, just put your details in here and I'll send you some stuff. Because if they ask for your card and you've got one, you go, oh, okay, you give the card out. And you know what? I've never had anyone call me when they've taken my card, ever.
Yeah.
And
I'm only getting that from a doctor who's giving my card out to people, which is a good one. But I'm not getting it if I just hand it to somebody. They're not making that contact back. No. I think you're right. You need to get their details and make contact back with them.
And then I follow up, and, it could go somewhere. So I just find they don't get back. They don't come back to me. It could be they're being polite. Or they're like me, they get home with the business card and they think a week later, what was that about? Oh, people are busy. They just don't engage then. So, so I just, when I started my ASEA business, I thought I'm not getting business cards. I'm not going to collect them and I'm not going to give them out. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've started that, Janene, with mine, asking for the phone number because you that's what you told me to do, and it actually works. People will actually put their phone, they don't even think about it. They just
do that.
No.
Yeah, I go, just give me your details and I'll get something out to you. And then I follow up and I go, look, I'll call you in a week or so and see how you went with it. And they go, oh, okay. So I have their permission and, you know, they haven't said, no, don't call me. So, yeah, then I follow up. Yeah.
I find reaching my phone out towards people and saying, hey, what's your number? And I start putting the 04 in, and then I look them in the eyes, and straight away I've had 100% response where people have actually given their number. And then I ring them there and then. And I say, look, your phone's probably in your purse or at home or in the car. And then I look at my watch and I actually tell them the time. Okay, it's 5 to 4. You'll have a missed call from me. Most of them don't remember that I've actually called them, and they call me back. Oh, I had a missed call from this number. Oh, yes, remember I'm the lady that spoke to you this morning or today at 4:05, and I mentioned to you about your sore feet or you've got a shoulder imbalance, and I said I was going to send you a link. I've texted that to you. Oh, was that what that was all about? And then I'll call you back in the next day or the day after, and I'll see how you got on with having a look at that link. Would that be okay with you? Yeah, sure. And that sort of, you know, I just keep it short and sweet and simple and don't get into the technology of it. Let them have a look. Let them have a look at the YouTube that's appropriate to whatever it is that you've quickly discussed.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So let a tool do the talking. Just get their permission to send them a tool. That's always the best way to, because, you know, if that person ever joins or comes on board and they start sharing, they just copy what you did. So you don't want to be too knowledgeable or too full of, you know, explanations about redox, because that's the thing they'll remember. So they'll either think, God, I could never share this the way she does. So that, so you always want to be, you know, communicating in a way that people could copy you and doing things that people could copy you. So,
well, the other day, folks, I was going through, it was like a supermarket, only it was like a farmer's market with vegetables. And I just casually said to the lady, geez, you're on your feet all day. And I didn't even think about it. She said, oh, yeah. I said, hey, I've got a solution for that. It'll take that pain away. You interested? Yes. Straight away I rang her. And the boss was sort of looking, and I said, look, just make out your packing of vegetables, okay? And I'll just ring you. What's your number? Just talk to me. So I just quickly rang. I'll send you a link, and I'll talk to you later. What time do you finish work? 7. Okay, I'll ring you tonight. Bang, that was it. And out the door. She said, oh, thanks for that. That was it. I sent her a link. I had her number. Because I had her number, I rang her back. I simply asked, what time do you finish work? And that was it. I rang. I said, remember I talked to you as we're going. And that really was no longer than, it was less than 30 seconds. It was that quick. I sent her the link I got in the car. Yeah. And I made sure I acted upon it there. And I said, what's your name? And what was her name? Fran. So watch this space, Janene.
Yeah, absolutely. She does do that. I've been with her. She's not lying. Oh, my God. Yeah. You just, it's quite an experience moving around with Janice.
We remember the one we did. I was getting on a plane and I was going overseas. And I said, well, I've got to go, Janene. About to get on the plane. And then next thing you know, I sent her a text message. Can you put this person in? And she rang me. She said, yeah, I've just signed her up.
Happens a lot.
It's that easy, folks. Don't make it complex. Don't make it complicated.
No, I remember that story. Okay, so Janice sends through, someone said, I've just got the details, this lady wants to be signed up, that you won't get any more because I'm about to get on a plane. And within 5 minutes, she sends through the details of someone else, their credit card, their order. And I'm like, oh, my God, what just happened then? So anyway, Janice is in the air. I can't ring her back. And she gets to Hobart, and I call her. I go, I thought you were getting on a plane. She said, oh, yeah, I was just in the line getting on the plane, and this woman had a sore hip. So she said, I quickly drew a mitochondria and said, you know, you need more of these redox signaling molecules. So the woman said, oh, okay, how do I get it? Janice had her credit card. Before Janice even got on the plane, I think I'd ordered that woman's redox. It's like unbelievable.
I was talking to a guy on the way on the plane over from Melbourne on Tuesday, and he was a policeman, and he'd been shot in the back, and he was the last one on, and he was sitting next to me, and I said, "Oh, look, you can have my seat. I'll move over." And anyway, I didn't disturb him. He looked like he was in a hell of a lot of pain. And I didn't have actually any Redox molecule at all on me. I'd given the last lot away. And I said, look, I've got something that's really going to help you. And because he asked me, could I get his bag down? And I said, what can I get for you? He said, I've got morphine in there. And I said, geez, how much you on? 100 milligrams, he said. I said, oh, sweetheart, we got to get you off that. He said, how? And I said, I've got a solution. He said, have you really? I said, yep. And I said, I'll send you a tube. And I said, for all that you've done in the police force and all your suffering, I'm just going to send it to you because you're a hero. You've kept me safe. And he said, really? I said, yep. Anyway, he rang me. He got the tube and it was in the post. And I said, just keep putting it on and use it all up in 3 days. He said, all right. So I'm going to ring him Tuesday night and find out how he got on.
Wow.
It's that easy, folks. You know, you just reach out, you help people. Zig Ziglar says you help enough people and you'll get helped. I'm going to the Bahamas because of that. Are you coming, are you, Janine?
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I was on the call, but someone knocked me off the stool.
Yeah. So look, there you go. So yes, you don't have to wait to be asked what do you do, right? That Janice has just given you some examples there.
You don't need to be a practitioner, folks. You don't. I hardly ever tell people what I do. You just reach out and help them. That's all you got to do, and do it from the heart. And it's simple as, don't make it complex, don't make it complicated, and don't hold back. Just sow the seeds. We're just a bloody big pot of popcorn, and some will pop, some will be delayed in popping, and some will sit in the bottom of the pot and cook their backsides off and be victims for life. That's it. It's that easy.
Yeah, it is that easy. Yeah, just think of people as popcorn. So those that get it, they pop. The others are
we're the early poppers. On this call tonight, we're the early poppers.
Yeah, and
it takes a while for others to get the heat under them.
Yeah, and you get to the bottom and there's those that never popped. You just chuck those out, you know, but then some pop sooner than others. So I love that analogy. Love it. I can see Jane love. Okay. So, yeah, get out there and pop some popcorn, and don't worry about the ones that don't pop. You know, you're always going to get a few of those. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining the training tonight, and I really encourage you, just play with the elevator speech, and you know, there will be opportunities when you are confident in it, or just confident that you have one. People will start asking you, so, you know, Sasha, what do you do? Joe, what do you do? You hear it out there. And here's the thing, I don't wait for people to ask me. If I meet someone, I go, oh, what do you do? You know, and they tell me, and then guess what they ask me? They ask me, what do I do? So don't wait to be asked. You know, you ask, and then people will ask you. Great. All right, guys, I want to hear back from you. And if you want a bit of help or coaching on it, just call me, let me know, and, you know, I'd love to create your elevator speech with you.
Thanks, Janene, for doing this training tonight on a Sunday night. It was great. 34 people on tonight, so wow. Amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.